好了。Konnichiwa, minasan. Welcome to Japanese session again. It's 1 p.m. Sunday. My name is Jerell, and today I have 3 live guests. Yay! Okay, thank you for coming by. Okay, so every week, Sunday on 1 a.m. Very kanchong. 1 p.m. Okay, there will be a Japanese session hosted by me, Jerell, through the help and support of our team here, which is Arcsphere.1969. All right, we have many programs here, and of course, after me, Taebang, which is the regular. It means in Japanese, Taebang will be 2 beautiful ladies that will help you with more tips on beauty and facial wellness. Okay, but today. Here, my session today, I'm going to talk about Hakone Ekiden. All right? So I believe people who are running Singapore around has running culture. Every year we have our Singapore stand chart marathon that is right now known across the world. But Ekiden is also becoming popular because stand chart also recently incorporate Ekiden. So people keep talking about Ekiden, but what really is Ekiden, right? So a little short introduction of Ekiden. Actually, in perspective, Ekiden is like the spirit of Japan. How old is Ekiden right now? Is already more than 100 years old. And how it started is because in 1912, there's an Olympian, okay, marathon from Japan. His name is Shinzo Kanaguri. He represented Japan in the marathon of the 1912 Sweden Olympic, which is Stockholm. All right. So what happened is this marathon runner, Mr. Shinzo Kanaguri, did not complete marathon. Marathon is 42 kilometers. Everybody know, right? So he represented Japan. But he did not complete. In fact, it was very humiliating. He actually collapsed in the middle of the whole race, right? So he felt very humiliated, very humiliated. So as we all know, Japanese are very determined. They have a very strong spirit of their country. They have a lot of pride. Okay, that's what we know about Japanese. So he was so humiliated that he came back to Japan and he said, look, we are nowhere near world class. All right, I want to build a world class of runner that can compete in the world events. So he came up with this idea of having relay races, but long distance relay races. All right, and he managed to do that with the university campus in Kanto region. Kanto region means the Tokyo area. So it started with only 4 universities. But right now, there are about 42 universities. And only these Kanto region universities can take part in this very famous right now called Hakone Ekiden. All right, and it started in 1920. That is the very first Hakone Ekiden. So I'm going to share more, okay? But basically, this man started this Ekiden, and it captures the heart of the Japanese population, because during this Ekiden race is very grueling, is very demanding, and there's a lot of pride, and the pride all start with a thing called Tusky, which is called a stash. If you represent your school, I mean, for them is university, you will wear the stash of the school. Because there are many schools like Waseda University, Nippon University, Toyo University, Aoyama Gakuin, things like this, yeah? So it all started, and it's a very grueling race, okay? So I'm going to share more, okay, because Ekiden really is the spirit of Japan to me. And why, for myself, I love Ekiden. I have been following Hakone Ekiden for the last 20 years. And I've seen a lot of drama, and it always touches me because of how determined the runners representing the schools and university are determined to fulfill the mission, given to them, okay, to represent the university for this Hakone Ekiden. So the next few, how I'm going to divide this particular session is I'm going to share with you some, because when we learn Japanese, we need to have a lot of vocabularies, right? So I'm going to share with you some of the vocabularies that is related to Ekiden, which is a relay, right? And then I'm going to share with you some facts about Hakone Ekiden, okay? So that if you have a chance to speak with your Japanese friends about Ekiden, you have some knowledge. At least you don't get yourself in a very embarrassing situation. And also you can show off to your friends that you actually know something about Ekiden, because to the Japanese, Ekiden is very, very close to their heart, all right? Every year when Ekiden, this Ekiden, Hakone, especially Hakone Ekiden, when it's being, when it started, okay, millions of Japanese switch on live and watch Ekiden throughout, broadcast live, yeah? Okay, so let's go ahead with my session today. I've given you enough introduction, yeah? So, as you can see in this particular slide, okay, I'm starting with vocabulary now, yeah? So, this slide shows you the 97th Hakone Ekiden, right? So Ekiden is written there in orange in the Japanese kanji. And then, of course, I have the hiragana. If you can read hiragana by now, if you have been joining me, it says Ekiden, so you can pronounce it, yeah? So, this is the very first vocabulary that you need to know, Ekiden, right? If you mention Ekiden, everybody know. And just for information, Japan is a country of 4 seasons, okay? And one of the good thing about countries with 4 seasons is that they always can remember what they do last year. There's also different activities for the Japanese population or during this particular period. So in the sports calendar, when winter starts, winter usually starts about maybe in October, November, yeah? Winter season comes, the sports calendar actually change into Ekiden. So during this period, almost every week across the whole of Japan, there will be many Ekiden competition. But of course, there is a few that is very important in the sports calendar. All right, of course, the Hakone Ekiden is right there on top, right? Other Ekidens that you want to kind of know is that there is this high school Ekiden. Because all these runners, they don't become a good runner and represent a university just like that. They start with high school. High school means kids from 14 years old to 16 years old. So there's a high school Ekiden competition, and then there's a Hakone Ekiden, which I'm talking about, and then there's a corporate Ekiden, meaning there's also big corporations like your NTT, like your Fujitsu, like your Toyota, they have Ekiden team. There's also prefecture Ekiden, because Japan is made up of 47 prefectures. So all the prefectures, they also compete against each other. All right, and there's most grueling one, okay, in this Ekiden series will be the Grand Tour Kyushu. And my live guest here today have been to Kyushu, so she kind of know how big Kyushu is. Why the Grand Tour Kyushu Ekiden is so grueling? Because it covers 8 days, over 700 kilometers. Each team is made up of 51 runners, okay? And then the most tough Ekiden will be the Mount Fuji Ekiden. Okay, Mount Fuji Ekiden, we have to go up Mount Fuji and come back down. Usually when you do an up and down of Mount Fuji completely by trekking, it will take you about 2 days. But this Mount Fuji Ekiden, they complete in less than 4.5 hours. Yeah, so it's very grueling. But anyway, like I say, when everybody talk about Ekiden, they always talk about Hakone Ekiden. So we are going to focus on Hakone Ekiden today, okay? So, before the university, okay, Hakone Ekiden is only meant for universities in the Kanto region, right? So, before you can compete every year, okay, there will be preliminaries, okay? There will be a standard that you have to meet before you can join the Ekiden, yeah, Hakone Ekiden. So, there's this thing called Yosenkai, yeah, preliminaries. Okay, this is another word, another vocabulary that I can share with you. It's called Yosenkai. If you can read Chinese, especially 繁体字, 这是预选会。So the schools that do not make it to the next edition of Ekiden, they have to compete in the Yosenkai. Right? So all the schools that cannot make it, and I share with you why there are some universities that cannot make it. Because every season, only the top 10 ranking schools or university that cross the finish line first in that particular edition of Ekiden automatically get a berth in the next edition. All right, so I mentioned that there are about 48 universities in the Kanto region, so there are 38 universities that do not make it for the next edition, so they have to go to the Yosenkai, right? And let me show you this slide. There is this vocabulary that I like to share with you. It's called seiseki. Seiseki. Seiseki means result, right? And I have a slide here that shows you about all the universities that have taken place in the 92nd version of the Hakone Ekiden. Yeah? As you can see, the schools, all right, like Aoyama Gakuin is the green one. Okay, the yellow writing is say seeded schools. Seeded, that means they are the top seeds, okay, to win the event. So you can see the first one is Qingshan Xueyuan, Aoyama Gakuin. And then beside, they always have bracket. The Japanese, they always show you bracket. Like it says, Hachinen Nenjoku Nijuichi Kaime. Means they have been competing for the last 8 consecutive seasons. And this year will be their 21st time. All right? And you remember Hakone Ekiden started in 1920. So it has a long history. So there are some schools that is so good that they compete every year. For example, you see on the right side, if you can read Chinese, 日本体育大学, Nihon Taiiku Daikaku, the parenthesis is 68年連続68回目, 就是连续 consecutive 68 years they compete. They are so good. All right, and it's the 68th time. And of course, there will be another one that I like to pick out will be Chuo Daikaku, the orange color one, right? 中央大学. Okay, 87th time consecutive. And this is their 90th time competing. So there are schools that produce very good runners for Japan. All right. But of course, in the last 10, 15 years, I've been watching, especially also for next year, you have to keep an eye on this university called Aoyama Gakuin. Okay, the one that I showed there, the green color one, Aoyama Gakuin. Another team to look out for will be Toyo Daikaku, Dongyang Daxue. And then, of course, the up-and-coming one will be Tokai Daikaku. Tokai, okay, Donghai. All right, so seiseki means result. Okay, and then, of course, when you go for your preliminaries, there will be this thing called Nanabijun. Nanabijun means sequence. Coming in first, second, third, according to your timing. In Japanese, this vocabulary is called Narabijun. So when you hear the word Narabi, means to line up, to queue, in which we Singaporeans are very familiar with, to queue. Narabi, yeah? Narabi Gurasai, yeah? To queue up. So Narabijun is a sequence order, according to the timing. Okay? And then, of course, during the preliminaries, there will be universities that just miss it because there's a certain timing, right? And then only certain schools can be accepted. So when you lose out and you do not meet the cut to participate, you are called Laksang. Laksang, 落选, lost out, you drop out. So this slide here I show you is actually, if you can read some of the Japanese words, these are all the name of the universities, all right? And then the big blue, purple color, you know, with the schools, and then there's the katakana, it say borderline. So they're making prediction before the preliminaries. Okay, the newspaper, the sports newspaper, they will write a lot about the preliminaries. Which school has the highest chance to make it to the next version of the Hakone Ekiden, right? And then you can see the green color one is called Noko, Longhou. Noko means very high chance. And Zao Da is one of the top university in Japan is Waseda, if you have been hearing. Waseda University is one of the top 10 university in Japan. Okay? And then, of course, Kuzan, Kosen means almost no chance, but waiting for the miracle. Okay? So, if you do not make it, it's called Laksang. Laksang. So far, so good? Okay, so if you make it, your team come in within a specific time and you can represent your university to the next version of the Hakone Ekiden. What is that? The seat, yeah, is called Suzhigang, yeah, 出产权 in Chinese lah. Okay? 出场権 participation rights. All right? And these are all the flags of all the university that has the right to participate. So all the names of the university. Nihon Daikaku, Soka Daikaku, Meiji Daikaku, yeah? So they have the rights to participate. It's called 出場権. 出場是出场, 権是 rights. Then, of course, like any sports event, Olympics, any kind of sports event, there of course will be some star, right? That everybody is looking forward to see their result, to see their performance, yeah? So, spotlight or stars or athletes to look out for is called Chromoku, 注目, right? So for next year, okay, I pick out again from the news and article, will be these 4 runners from the different universities. Yeah, they are the Chromoku runner. They are going to be the spotlight of the Hakone event for next year. Yeah, Chromoku spotlight. And the race itself, there's a word in it, okay, it's called Kyoso 竞走. So Kyoso means race, means competition. It can also use in a variety of ways. Let's say even if you have to participate in any competition, you can say Kyoso. Or Japanese is a Kyoso Sekai, means everything is on meritocracy, just like Singapore. Kyoso, you have to fight to win, you have to go for it, yeah? So Kyoso, basically here is race, but Kyoso no Sekai means you have to, run for it, you have to earn it, yeah, Kyoso. Then, ofuku. Ofuku is a very common term you can also hear when you go and buy tickets in the flight tickets lah, train tickets lah. If you're going to buy train tickets in Japan, you say that, I'd like to have an ofuku ticket, meaning you buy a two-way, to and fro, round trip. Yeah? So this is one very useful vocabulary that you can use, ofuku, round trip. Yeah? And the slide here that I share with you is with regards to the Hakone Ekiden, the trail, the entire trail. Yeah, and then they have to do it off-good round trip, up and down. Yeah. Okay, and then of course, because this is such a key event in the whole sports calendar of Japan itself, not even among the university. There will be this word that you always hear, and it's also very important in our life, is that we always want to have a tokpa, tupo. Okay? So like I share with you this slide here, you can see Tokyo Kokusai Daikaku, okay? Tokyo International University. For the first time, they get the Sutsujo-ken to participate in Hakone. That's why you can see in red writing, Hatsu Sutsujo, Chu Chang. First time after so many editions. And they came in ninth, right? Because they were 10. They came in ninth. So they were so happy, right? So Tokpa. Okay? As you can see, this is a screenshot from the TV screen. It says, Hakone Hatsu Sutsujo, Tokyo Kokusai Dai, Chosen no Budai Ura. So this is a picture of them when they received the news that they can represent the school in the next version of Hakone Ekiden. They were so happy, and it is going to be their first time participating. And you can see the time, right? It's 10 hours, 11 minutes, and 41 seconds. They managed to get it, yeah? So they were so happy because they trained very, very hard for it. And then Nenjoku means continuous. Like I've shown you earlier, there are some school has been participating every year, 10 years in a row, 20 years in a row. And then this particular slide is about Aoyama Gakuen. And I share with you that this school is always, in the last 10 years, is the school that everybody look out for. Why? Because this year they won it, okay? But the year before, they lost it. They came in second. And when they came in second, it was devastating for the school. Why? Because if they have won the 2019 Hakone Ekiden, they will be the first school in the entire history of Hakone Ekiden to win it 4 times in a row. So they have to redo it all over again. So they have so much pressure in 2019 because the whole Japan is talking about Aoyama Gakuen. Can they do a 4-peat? Can they do a 4-peat? But they did not. So they lost 2019, and of course they came in second in this interview and everything. They cry a lot, yeah, and then they feel very regretful, and then they vow to win it next year, and they did in 2020. Actually, this year's version, 2020 version, is an exceptional year for Hakone Ekiden. Why? Because the top 3 schools actually came back with record-breaking time. Amazing. Record-breaking time, okay? So, Namida, this is something that you will always see in every Hakone Ekiden. Why? Because all the runners, they put so much time and effort for their training. They have a lot of pride. They have a lot of determination. And if they do not live up to the expectation, actually, a lot of them, they cry. A cry of joy and a cry of sadness. So tears in Japanese is called Namida. Namida. All right, and Sotsugyo means graduation. Sotsugyo, graduate. Why? Because most of the runners that represent the university doing Hakone Ekiden, very seldom you see first-year students, first-year university students. Most of the time, it will be the 4th year or the 3rd year university students. So a lot of the runners that represent the university, they train 3 years before they can even get a chance to run one of the leg in Hakone Ekiden. And to them is all their hard work, all their determination to help the team to win. And of course, it's Sotsugyo. They are called Sotsugyo, graduation students. Yeah. So it is a very heartwarming moments for many of the runners participating in the Hakone Ekiden. All right, so Sotsugyo is graduate, Sotsugyo. And just for information, there's also a Sotsugyo season in Japan, which is in March, okay? Because Japan has a different fiscal year. I believe probably with Korea, I do not know. But they usually so-called start for corporate also, they start in April, the first day. So the graduation season is in March. Okay, from primary school to high school to university. It's a big event in Japan, not in Singapore. But I believe this Sotsugyo season is also very much the same for Korea. Korea also play a lot of attention for any graduation ceremony. It's a big event, yeah? Okay, and then Namahoso. Namahoso is live broadcast. So like I mentioned to you, Hakone Ekiden is broadcast live across the nation. Throughout, live broadcast. So that's the reason why all Japanese usually grew to the television, because there's a lot of human drama in the Hakone Ekiden. Things will just happen in a split second, and then the position of the school change and stuff like that, yeah? So that's the one reason why I'm so captivated by Hakone Ekiden, because I actually absolutely love the drama and the determination that I see in these young students. And because, okay, anyway, I'll tell you why later, because I'm going to share with you the 10 facts of Ekiden. Okay? Things that you should know. It is a 2-day relay race. 2-day, okay? And nobody will forget the start first day and the second day of Ekiden because it is held every year, January 2nd and 3rd. Every single year, 2nd of January and the 3rd of January, Hakone Ekiden starts. And it starts at 8 a.m., January 2nd. And then for those who know, Japan celebrate New Year just like most Western countries, January 1st. So this is the holiday season for them. The Japanese actually start their holiday season somewhere in December the 28th and then ends on January 4th. Well, that's why Hakone Ekiden always held it in Japan on the 2nd and 3rd. And for me, I will always glue to the TV watching it live. All right, 2nd and 3rd January. Between Tokyo and Hakone. And for those who have not been Hakone, besides Ekiden, Hakone is also a very, very beautiful place that you should visit. Yeah, very beautiful place. Okay, and the first day of the distance is 108 kilometers. 108 kilometers, grueling, okay, divided into 5 stages. 5 stages, all right, you're going up the hill, you know, slopes and coming down, all right, all the way from Tokyo to Hakone, 108 kilometers. But if you are going on a holiday, you don't have to run to Hakone. You can go to Shinjuku. There's this train service that's operated by Odaikyu. They have this romantic Shinkansen all the way going to Hakone in less than 2 hours, yeah? Okay, and the distance on the second day is 109, close to 110 kilometers. So they run all the way to Hakone, stay there for a night, and then they start to run back again. And you can see from the slide, okay, they show you all the timing. I'm just showing some of the slides and the elevation of the whole route, okay, the trail, all the way. And you can see there's a blue square of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the going towards from Tokyo to Hakone, 5 stations, like I told you, 5 sections, right? So one runner will run to one section and then it pass on, all right? And then the second day, they'll start from Hakone again, so you can see 6 in orange and all the way back to Tokyo, and they stop in Otemachi. Otemachi right now is one of the key spots for in Tokyo, where you have a lot of high-rise building with a lot of top Japanese corporation. It's like our Shenton Way in Singapore, okay? So the second day is 109, close to 110 kilometers. And then only male runners are allowed to run, surprisingly. Okay, only male runners are allowed to run in the Hakone Ekiden version. Like I say, there are many other versions, right? The Grand Tour, Grand Kyushu, and then there's also the prefecture, so they have female runners, but for the Hakone Ekiden, only the male runners are allowed to run. Okay, and it's broadcast by NTV, okay, Nippon Television. Okay, so these are another fact. Teams that finish in the top 10 are entitled to compete again the following year. So they do not need to join the preliminaries. So that's why it is a very interesting race. Why? Because all the schools will be running for the top 10 places, besides trying to win the whole event that particular year. So they always tussle for the seeding, they call seed, yeah? The top 10 seed to represent the school next year again. So, and then of course, this is a magazine. There's a full magazine about Hakone Ekiden, you know, who are the runners to look out for, their profile, where they come from, what is their timing, etc., etc. Yeah, and then you can see here, I come back to this particular slide. Actually, in section 5, yeah, this is the most grueling part of the Hakone Ekiden, section 5, because it's going uphill. It's very steep, going uphill. So in Hakone Ekiden, one of the key things that we watch is we look for Yamanojin, right? We call mountain specialists. In fact, we call them mountain runners or god of mountain runners because it's so grueling. And then when I started to watch Hakone Ekiden, I was totally enchanted by this gentleman in the middle by Toyodai Tongyangda. he practically attacked the mountain like nobody business. So he is the second so-called, he redefined Yamanojin. That's why 你可以看, in this particular magazine, you can see his finger, he put 2, right? But then the magazine put Ni Daime. He is the so-called second generation, the top mountain specialist runner. The first one is Gansoku, okay, this guy, okay? And then after that will be Sandaime, is this guy from Aoyama Gakuen. So this very challenging mountain slope run is the key highlight of every Hakone Ekiden. And supposedly only the best runner, the one with the best endurance, will be placed here on the 5th section. Okay, to compete the challenge of running up the mountain of Hakone. It's very steep. Okay. And then, of course, the race is divided into 10 stages. Like I told you, when you go from Tokyo to Hakone, it's 5, and Hakone back to Tokyo is 10. Yeah, 5. So there's 10 stages altogether. So there's 10 runners in each team. But the day 2 of the race has a staggered start. What does a staggered start mean? So if the team came in first, of course, has nothing to compare, right? So the second team that came in, let's say the second team came in 20 seconds later. Right? And then the third team came in 1 minute later. The following morning, the team that came in first, of course, start to run first. But the second team only start to run 20 seconds later. The third team can start to run only 1 minute after. So that's why it's very exciting. So teams that can come from second, third place, fifth place, and all the way catch up to become number 1, they have very good strategy. They have very good runners. Some, they have to plan everything like this. So that is what is so amazing about Hakone Ekiden, right? Okay, so day 2 of the race has a staggered start. But day 1, the start, from Tokyo, everybody start on the same starting line. But on the second day, it will be a staggered start. Okay, and then Tusky. Okay, this is what symbolizes the whole of Hakone Ekiden. Because when you wear or when you hold on to the Tusky, you have a mission, you have a goal, you have the pride to represent the school to complete the race. So if any one of the runners are not able to pass the Tusky or a sash, I spell wrongly here, it's not stash, it's a sash, to the next runner, it's a failure. It's a humiliation. It's something that is not forgivable. That's how seriously they treat that. Yeah. And then even when they do running, during their runs, they even practice how to pass the stash from one runner to another runner. There are many, like I say, there are many human dramas. Sometimes when there's so much pressure or the day before they do not sleep well, they do not perform well. In between, they fall or they injure or they cannot complete within a certain time, because the first team and the last team, the time difference cannot be more than 20 minutes. So if the first team and the last team, the time difference is more than 20 minutes, they will not get to wear the original stash. They will be given a special stash. But this special stash is something that they do not want to wear, because it no longer represents their school. And it tells the whole of Japan and whoever that is watching the race that they did not make it already in terms of the timing. So it's a humiliation, but they just proceed to finish it because of pride, because of a mission. They are participating, they start what they want to finish. This is a Japanese culture and a Japanese spirit. Yeah, so the whole Hakone Ekiden is all about the Tusky. Okay, so that's why there's a lot of human drama. Why? Because the human drama means there are some runners, they even run with their feet broken, or they are dehydrated, but they still run because they always have this mission in mind, is that I need to pass the stash to my next partner, to my next runner, so that they can continue to run the race, okay, in the name of the school, in the name of the university. Okay, so I've shared with you enough vocabulary, facts about Hakone Ekiden. This is still a Japanese session, and of course, I'd like to share with you dialogue, all right, so that you can continue to learn some of the words of Japanese. So, who are the key runners to watch out for this year? In Japanese, 今年注目すべきランナーは誰ですか? Who are the key runners to watch out for this year? In Japanese, you say, 今年注目すべきランナーは誰ですか? So, 今年 means this year. 注目, like I shared with you earlier, runners to look out for, the spotlight, right? 注目すべき means is like definitely have to look out for, right? 誰ですか is who. Okay, runner, they are just using this katakana. That means they totally borrow this word runner and put into the Japanese language, and that's why I write it in katakana, right? Runner. Okay, so who are the key runners to watch out for this year? In Japanese, 今年注目すべきランナーは誰ですか? Okay. I am a fan of Aoyama Gakuin, so I put Aoyama Gakuin. So, Aoyama Gakuin is likely to win this year Hakone Ekiden. Yeah, Aoyama Gakuin is likely to win this year Hakone Ekiden. In Japanese, Aoyama Gakuin は今年箱根駅伝で優勝する可能性が高い。青山学院は今年箱根駅伝で優勝する可能性が高い。Right? So, 優勝する means to win the championship. 可能性 is the probability, 可能性嘛。が高い。So they have a very high chance to win. 優勝する可能性が高い。Okay? 今年 again means this year. Okay? So one more time. 青山学院は今年箱根駅伝で優勝する可能性が高い。Yeah? Okay. I am going to watch it live on TV.I'm going to watch it live on TV. You say in Japanese, テレビで生放送で見ます。テレビで生放送で見ます。I'm going to watch it live on TV because anyway, Hakone Ekiden is live on TV starting from 8 a.m. onwards, yeah? And then usually ends about 1 o'clock, 1:30, okay? So I'm going to watch it live on TV. テレビで生放送で見ます。Okay? 生放送 is live broadcast. So, yes, I am hoping Aoyama Gakuin can win 3 years in a row. Yeah? In which they did not manage to win the 4th, so I'm very sad. はい、青山学院が3年連続で優勝できることをお願いいたします。はい、青山学院が3年連続で優勝できることを願っています。Okay, I'm going to explain the words, yeah? 青山学院が3年連続 means 3 times in a row, 3 years in a row, 3 times consecutively, right? 3年連続。連続, like I show you just now in the vocabulary, means continuous. Okay? 優勝, of course, is to win. Okay? And then 願っています means I wish. 願って. Right? So, yes, I'm hoping Aoyama Gakuin can win 3 years in a row. はい。青山学院が3年連続で優勝できること、優勝できること means winning, yeah? Winning the event, okay? を願っています。優勝できることを願っています。Okay? Alright? So, 頑張ってください。I have come to the end of this session on Hakone Ekiden.I hope you do enjoy it because Ekiden is truly a spirit of Japan. It has been around for a long, long time. Not many people appreciate and support marathon and you know, I mean, more people support basketball game and they watch it. It's more fun and stuff like that. But somehow, Ekiden, I truly love Ekiden. I watch 2nd January, 3rd January because there's just so much drama. The school that came in first in the first day may not came in first on the second day. And then you can even see runners that is so amazing that they can start at the 50th place and then they keep running and then they can overtake all the way to be number 1. Yeah, so there's a lot of drama. To me, because it starts in the beginning of the year, it also gives me what I call it, a chance to tell myself, if these guys can do it, they go through such a grueling day of challenges, I should also start my year right. Yeah, because we have a saying in Chinese that, you know, a year's planning starts from the particular day, right? 一年之计在于春嘛, huh? Okay. So it has a lot of meaning to me. I really love Ekiden. So if you have any comments, I have not checked my Facebook if you guys have been putting comments in it, but there again, I apologize for that. I will try to reply your comments. If you have any other ideas or topic you'd like to know, please drop it in. Okay, I'll be more happy to check and then come back to you. And then we are having this session every Sunday. I welcome more friends who love Japan and the culture and understand more Japanese to come to our loft here, organized by Oxford, so that after the session we can mingle around and share more about the Japanese culture because we all love Japanese culture so much, yeah? And then, of course, continue to subscribe, share, and like us. And then, just like every other Sunday, after me, there will be 2 beautiful ladies who is such an expert, just like the Ekiden runners. They are so good with facial knowledge and beauty knowledge that they're going to share with you how to maintain, yeah, your health, okay, of your facial beauty that can last the distance like the Hakone Ekiden of 200 kilometers. Okay, so thank you very much. じゃあね、頑張ってください。ありがとうございました。バイバイ。